Welcome back to the BTS Happy Hour podcast. I'm your host, Andrea. Joining me as always is Morgan.
Hey, what's up, everyone?
In other news, this happened on February 22nd, something we brought up before. Justin Bieber has finally tweeted about BTS.
Oh, yeah. Are you happy about that?
I don't know if I'm happy. I'm kind of surprised. I just thought he would ignore the whole thing.
It's easy to just compose a tweet.
It is, but I thought he would have done it before now. But I appreciate that he did it. And here's what his tweet said. My guys from BTS out here killing it. Congrats, fellas.
Good.
So that's nice.
Yeah, I mean, good. I don't think he owed it to them necessarily, but he did it. That's good. You can't, I don't think you could say anything negative about it. It's just, he did it.
Yeah, I think it was gracious, and I appreciated that he mentioned them because they did promote him, so I think it's fair that he do it back. But if he didn't, that's totally fine. It's his choice. But I appreciate what happened.
Neither artist needs the other to promote, obviously. They will, yeah, it's not the end of the world either way. But it's good that he reciprocated. And again, if he didn't, or he did it too late or whatever, I don't think we can read any sort of malice into that. You know, like we've established before, Justin Bieber has his own stuff going on. His quote-unquote Lyme disease issues probably are affecting his life constantly. Yeah. So we have to respect that, right?
He's got a lot going on.
Perhaps he had to be in the hospital for a week due to Lyme disease. Sure. So if he's just not tweeting about a BTS album, don't hold that against him. He had to go for Lyme disease treatment. He had to go into quarantine or go into a induced coma, or I don't know how they treat Lyme disease, or whatever he does with his fake Lyme disease or whatever. So
his album came out a week before Map of the Soul 7. I wonder if he did that on purpose. He wanted to release it on Valentine's Day for a certain reason.
No, I don't think it has anything to do with Map of the... No.
Yeah, he may have chosen the date already. It was just interesting.
I don't think they care. I don't think it impacts anything. It's not like a movie. Like a movie, you have to care about your release date because people actively they're not going to watch all the movies.
They're going to see one or the other.
Yeah. So you can't release your movie when Avengers comes out or whatever. But for music, it's not like, oh, I'm not going to buy that one because it came out at the same time.
Yeah.
No. So
he probably doesn't have the same fans that BTS has.
And maybe it's not even an overlap. So I honestly don't think it was that much of a consideration at all. It's not like movie releases. It's not the same thing at all. I don't think that factored into his decision making. And would it even really be his decision, or would it be Scooter Braun's decision?
Yeah.
Think about it.
That's Scooter Braun's decision.
I mean, he's probably like focused on his Lyme disease and his wife and things like that. Release dates are a Scooter Braun sort of thing. And I don't think he would care about when BTS is releasing stuff. It's not going to impact anything.
So we were talking about Connect BTS in previous episodes, and I had talked about the multiple reasons why it was a good idea for BTS to do, because it raises their profile, it helps them promote their album, it establishes them as being influential in different genres of things like art and music and everything else. But now we find out that Samsung is a sponsor related to the Connect BTS exhibit. So part of it was having an endorsement situation in place. So it's like yet another reason why that was a good move. So I thought that was like really interesting. And now they're going to be the spokespeople for Samsung phones and like the Galaxy phones. And we've seen on Twitter, J-Hope has that new phone that like folds in half. That's a new thing. It's like, I guess it's a very expensive phone, but it like folds in half.
Oh, okay.
And then you have the whole screen to look at once you open it up. So.
So it ties into the Samsung.
Yeah. What Samsung did, I guess they must have paid for some of Connect BTS then, because they provided the augmented reality experience for people with Galaxy devices so they could use their phones during the Connect BTS exhibit.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, it's all about an endorsement and a partnership there. So that's like another reason why that was a good idea. So they're like using every possible way to raise their profile and make more money. So I thought that was pretty smart. It's not just we're promoting art. It's like multiple things are going on at the same time.
Yes. So there was a business ulterior motive.
Yeah.
Okay. Which some people might react to negatively and say, "Well, that sucks. I thought it was from coming from a pure place where they love art." But personally, I'm glad because a lot of the art they promoted, I didn't even like. So I'm glad that they had an ulterior motive that has to do with just pure business because that makes sense to me, and that's the kind of thing I would do. So yeah, I am glad about that. And some of the art, I wasn't so hot about. So
We didn't even talk about the fifth one, which was the one in New York. And I thought that was like one of the worst ones because it just looked like, I don't know if you saw a picture of it, but all it looked like was gigantic barbed wire. It was like coils of huge wire that's
Okay.
like bigger than a person. And it just sat in the outside. And I didn't even understand the theme of it.
was
Or
it some installation art?
yeah.
Okay. And it was just barbed wire and nothing else?
It
What does
wasn't
it have to do with BTS?
it wasn't sharp on it, but that's what it looked like to me. Like when you see a prison or something, and then the barbed
What does it have to
wire.
do with BTS?
I don't know. That was that artist's exhibit for Connect BTS.
Okay.
So I just thought, oh, that doesn't appeal to me. This art, it just looks like giant barbed wire.
Right. What was their point? That America's like a prison or something? It's not a prison you can leave. If you want to see a prison, you should go to like a Soviet bloc country in the 80s. That's a real prison. You know? A lot of entitled people think like a lot of things about America that are totally incorrect. I'm sorry. It's probably a tangent, but whatever. It's like what are they implying? That you can't leave? Because usually barbed wire, it's you can't leave or you can't get in, right? That's what the point of barbed wire is, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. You can't leave. You can totally leave. You can leave. Feel free. Leave. Get the hell out. You can't get in? Well, yeah, you can't just get in. What place where they just let you in? Just willy-nilly. What the hell? What are you talking about?
I'm like reading the description of this artwork. Okay, it's called New York Clearing, but it says New York Clearing is a quantum drawing countering the Euclidean geometry of architecture with the sweeping vectors of a line without beginning or end. It's like, okay, I don't know what you're talking about there.
Well, no, that's not what I was talking about then.
Yeah.
Well, I hadn't seen it, but you just said it looked like barbed wire.
Yeah, like look, here's the picture of it. That's what it looked like to me.
Oh, no, that's not.
It's like barbed wire without the sharp points.
Yeah, yeah. No, that has nothing to do with like borders or anything like that.
But I'm not sure what the purpose of it is, so I
Right.
don't think this was a great artwork to sponsor.
Well, you know, corporations don't always care. They just want to say they're sponsoring art,
That's true.
right?
Like
They don't-
when you get funding for stuff,
Right.
it's almost so the company can say I sponsored this, and that's fine. It's like that's why we didn't even talk about it before. It's like
Good.
this one wasn't too notable, but now we find out that
They had a more rational explanation for why they're doing this stuff.
This makes more sense. This is
It's a
all
Samsung.
related to Samsung.
Okay, I got it. Yeah, a Samsung spot. Yeah, that
Like-
makes way more sense to my capitalist brain.
Yes.
That okay, it was a Samsung sponsorship, not just you love these weird art installations.
And maybe we just have too much of a suspicious mind, but I never look at anything anymore as, oh, they're just doing it for the love of whatever it is. Like, no one does that anymore. They do it for a reason.
Some people do it for the love.
You know, even celebrities that start a charity, it's like they're not necessarily...
Right.
I mean, maybe they're passionate about that thing, but it's also, I'm doing this as a tax haven. I'm doing this
Right,
for
right,
my own purposes.
Right.
So,
Well, I'm glad. And it makes sense. They don't love art as much as you think they love art.
well, I hope they made a lot of money from it. I'm sure they did. Because if you're going to have BTS as your celebrity endorsement, then Samsung needs to pay up.
Well, I'm sure we'll talk very little going forward about the Connect BTS stuff. That's just my guess. It didn't seem like it resonated with a lot of people, so we're not going to be talking about it too much. I don't hate it. I just didn't love it. And it didn't resonate with me, and I didn't care about it. I didn't even care about it enough to rant about it or hate it, you know? So it is what it is. It's just going to come and go. Connect BTS stuff. But that's fine. That's good. They probably got some money out of it from the Samsung partnership. That's good. And these artists got subsidized.
Yeah.
Good for them too.
I'm sure they got a bump in Google searches and things like that.
Oh, they got paid too, I'm sure.
Yeah.
And they got to do their art, which at least one person believes is meaningful. Them. So there you go. I don't know. I hate installation. I hate modern art and installation art. I don't know if you can tell. I just really do. And I'm not even coming at that from a standpoint of just I'm just some ignorant hick or something who just doesn't like the weird art. Or come on, I've taken multiple art history classes. I know more about this topic than most people. I can guarantee you. I still dislike it. I still dislike installation art. I hate modern performative. Anyway, this is a tangent. I don't like it. I'm happy that BTS's involvement is probably purely transactional. That makes me happy.
Yeah, that's totally fine, and I support that.
I support just a purely transactional relationship. You guys made money. Good. You deserve to make money.
Yes, I support BTS making more money because we want them to have more of a net worth.
But if you really cared about this weird art installation, that's also fine. But I'm not on board with it. I don't care about it is all I'm saying. So, yeah, that's good to know. They got Samsung money.
So with the comeback happening now, and I'm seeing a lot of behavior by ARMY that is lending to the idea of stan culture, because you'll see a lot of people just on Twitter or Reddit, and they're going to do all of these things connected to...
what things?
The
like immolate themselves or what?
It's almost like you can't just be a fan who listens to the music.
They're going to listen to it a thousand times.
And goes to the concert. It's like you have to do all of this other stuff.
To prove that you're a super fan.
Yeah. That's like what I'm seeing a lot of the more extreme stans doing. It's like, okay, instead of just going to a concert, instead of attending and hearing the music and enjoying it, I'm seeing a lot of talk. There's some that are going to bring banners that they hand out, or they're going to create some freebies to give out to other people. They're talking about, let's create a new fan chant for this song and that song, and then you have to sing it at a certain time. And just related to other things, like when there's voting contests, like, oh, iHeartRadio is doing a contest on whatever, or this radio station, or all this other stuff. Let's create hashtags and let's mass vote for BTS because we need them to win.
This has been happening for a long time, though, right?
Yeah. I just see a lot of it lately because the album came out, and there's also like music is released. So let's all try to stream it all day long, you know, on all the different platforms, and make sure you buy it digitally, and then buy it physically, and then buy it, you know, here in all the different places that you can. And it's like to
support them financially.
Yeah, but the purpose is we want to set the record for the first day.
And also they set like these numerical records.
Yeah, it's like we want to break the record of this, you know, music video views, or the streaming on the first day, or sales of the album. It's like, I understand that they want BTS to have those records. I just don't think it's that healthy to try to do it in an artificial way. Like, okay, one person doesn't need to buy many albums.
Right.
One person
to be a real fan.
Yeah. Like, you don't need to prove anything.
I totally disagree with... Well, are they saying that, this is the only way you can be a real fan if you do this? Or are they just saying that, let's just try to, you know, to support them?
I think it's more...
If it's a litmus test, I think that's wrong. But if you acknowledge that it's just us and a few crazies that we just want to do this, then hey, that's your money and free time.
It's kind of like peer pressure. It's like, I'm going to do this. I'm going to tell other people to do it. Let's all do this.
Do they judge the other fans? Like, oh, you didn't do this stuff, so you're not as good as
Sometimes
us.
I see that. It's like, oh, why are you a fan of BTS if you're not voting on this contest?
Did they judge you and you felt some kind of way about it?
No, they didn't. But I just feel like there's a lot of...
Because if they judge you, just tell them you spent $3,000 on BTS tickets, so f*** off, you know? Like, did you spend $3,000 on BTS? No, you didn't, so shut the f*** up.
I just think some people, maybe you have a lot more free time than I do, but you're online and you're like telling other people to do certain things, and it's implied like this is what you need to be doing if you support BTS.
Yeah.
And
constantly streaming, constantly buying.
Yeah. And it's like, I don't really stream anything unless I'm listening to it right then. So I'm not streaming, 24 hours a day, and I'm not standing right there listening to it.
Right.
I just think that's kind of unnatural, and I don't know if that's a deserved record, if that's how it's broken. It was still streamed,
I think
but
it's still deserved because other fan groups and whatever, they're doing that.
Yeah,
stuff.
all the other groups are doing the same thing.
Yeah.
I just don't know. There's no way to differentiate the streaming that a human is listening to versus, it's just streaming on your computer and you've walked away and you went to sleep or something.
Right.
There's no way to differentiate that. But it just seems not organic. And that kind of behavior just takes up so much of your time, and you don't need to prove anything to BTS. They welcome whatever level of fan you are.
I would agree with that. I would say if you want to prove that you're a dedicated fan or you're trying to contribute, there's no need. Just listen to it and enjoy it. And purchase the things that you can afford to purchase and make sense with your budget, right? And then you would enjoy having, and then that's fine. You're not a better fan or a bigger fan because we spent more money than a lot of fans. I spent more money than a lot of you guys on BTS tickets. Just trust me, okay? Did you spend $3,000? No, you didn't, right? But am I a bigger fan than you? Or am I a better fan than you? No, I'm not, right? So that doesn't indicate whether you're a good fan. Just love your group and just, enjoy it, And as far as the streams and things like that and views, it will all come naturally, right? Let's say that none of you went crazy on the streaming or whatever, and they got, 300 million YouTube views as opposed to 400 million YouTube views.
Mm-hmm.
Would that be the end of the world? Would that be like, oh no, they're a failure now? No, obviously not. They got 300 million views. They're obviously still a gigantic success.
Yeah.
So don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. That's not what creates lasting success, So just do not bother with that sort of thing. Don't put yourself out. Don't inconvenience your own life, for sure. Don't wake up at weird times to do anything for this sort of stuff.
Yeah, I do think there's a lot of people out there that are stressing themselves out for no reason, and they're just trying to do all of this stuff to support BTS. Yeah. But it's like, not that I know him, but I'm sure BTS is fine with you just knowing their songs, you just listening and appreciating their songs.
Right. And just listen to it or consume it organically, and that's enough. And it does not make you a worse fan. Trust me, it does not, And nobody is going to be, there's no tally. Nobody has a running tally of how good of a fan you are based on these things, right?
Yeah, Big Hit
That's all in your own head.
Doesn't have a tally of how much you spent and how much time you spent.
Right. So, and of course, don't judge other fans based on all this stuff. That's stupid as well.
Yeah, I think part of it too is a competitive nature of K-pop fans. Like they're always comparing, their group to other groups, and it's like we need to defeat this other group.
Right.
And it really doesn't matter. Like the most music video views on YouTube in one day. It's like at the end of the day, does it even matter? It's like not really.
It doesn't matter.
Especially all the ones at the top, they're all successful. So it doesn't matter who has the world record right now.
It really doesn't. It really does not. Try to think of it this way, okay? The 100 richest people on earth are all multi-billionaires. Multi-billionaires, right? Do you think whoever's number 60 looks at number 1 and thinks, damn, if only I was number 1. If only I was worth $130 billion like Jeff Bezos instead of my puny $13 billion.
My paltry 13
Yeah.
billion.
If only I had his amount of money versus my amount of money, I could do X. Well, I'm sure most reasonable people would ask you, well, what the hell is this X that you would be able to do, that you're looking to do if you were number 1 instead of number 40 or 65? What is it that you want to buy that you can't buy right now? Tell me what that is right now. Please, I'm dying to know, really. I'm really damn curious. What is it that, $130 billion will buy that 13 or 14 won't? And that billionaire would not be able to answer you because they would probably say, oh, no, I guess you're right. I can buy everything I want to buy right now.
Yeah.
Like, so why do you need another? Why are you so like desperate to have another $110 billion? I'm like, I don't know. I was just being competitive or whatever, right?
Yeah,
like, it's
yeah,
no big
exactly.
deal. It's no big deal.
It's like, I wanted to be at number 1. That's all.
It's like, okay, that feels good. Sure, whatever. But you can get everything you want, right? You can buy every single house, every single yacht, every single whatever, every single food, every single like frivolous item, every car, every watch. You have $13 billion. You can buy all of those things. You got people killed, right? You know, if you're that rich, you can definitely have people killed. But we won't talk about that right now. The point is, BTS, all of your favorite artists, they're at that level. Now, I do want to make one mistake. If it's like a smaller K-pop group and they're just starting out and they're making their way, yeah, maybe it would help, right? If you like get them off on the right foot, right?
Yeah, it's like, hey, fans, let's all support our group that's just starting
Right.
out. Make sure
Like
we get out there.
if your group is kind of in danger, right? Like if you're a Cherry Bullet fan or whatever. They're just at the top of my mind because I saw their stuff recently. Then maybe, yes.
It'd be beneficial for fans
Right.
to
If they
be
could,
heard.
Yeah, if they could have more views, if they can win shows or whatever, maybe that would help them. But man, you're a fan of BTS. That's like being a fan of Jeff Bezos and it's like, damn, I'm a real Jeff Bezos supporter. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to work hard to buy as much stuff off Amazon as I can with my paltry paycheck every single week. It's like, listen, man, Jeff Bezos doesn't need you to buy more stuff on Amazon. Well, Jesus Christ, he's worth $130 billion. He doesn't need your... I'm sure he would appreciate it. I'm sure. He wouldn't say, oh, no, damn, that sucks. But he doesn't need it. He doesn't need it. He is wealthy. It's fine. Trust me. Trust me. If you never bought another thing on Amazon ever again in your whole life, he will be fine. If you never purchase another BTS album, they will be fine. Yeah, that's basically what's going on here. Then just calm down.
Yeah. And if you're going to a concert, don't feel like you need to do all these different things. It's like the main point of it is to just go to the concert and enjoy the experience. It's
Yes,
not
just enjoy yourself.
making merch
Right.
and handing it out and
Yeah.
making fan chants and all this different stuff. It's
You
like,
already did the main thing that BTS would like from you. You gave him hundreds of dollars for a ticket to go to this concert.
you bought tickets. Like, there you go. Like,
Those tickets weren't cheap.
that's the job.
They were not cheap. I bought a ton of them this time around. I can tell you they're not cheap.
It's like-
you bought them. You saw they're not cheap.
If you bought the ticket, you've done everything they wanted. So you don't have to feel like you have to do more than that.
At the same time, though, I'm not stopping you. If you want to do that, go ahead. I don't even know their chant. I lied. I don't even know their chant. The name chant?
The names.
Yeah. I kind of know. I don't totally know.
They might
it.
be making up new ones because now
They didn't change their names. How are you going to make up a new chant? Oh, like not name chant.
yeah, it might be specific to a song because
Oh, I see.
it's like there's a new album. So whatever fits into like the 5 seconds of space that you have in that song, they might make up something new. We'll see.
You're an army, so you will tell me.
So recently at a rally in Colorado Springs, President Donald Trump was talking about how the Oscars went, and he said that the winner is a movie from South Korea, and he was like, what was that all about? We've got enough problems with South Korea with trade. On top of it, they gave them the best movie of the year. Was it good? I don't know. So We're talking about Parasite because we're invested in it now because we've seen it and
Well, we have seen it,
yeah.
and it was a great movie. I definitely enjoyed the movie. The last time we talked about it, had not won an Oscar yet.
Yeah, that was before.
Right. We only saw it and said, yeah, it is a great movie.
So we didn't bandwagon. We knew about
Yes,
it
that's
already.
right.
That's important.
And it's on record. That's on record. You guys know it is on record. It had not won yet, but we still said this is a great movie. After it won an Oscar, though, yeah, there was some criticism of it that, you could fairly read as xenophobic. What I will say about that is, well, here's my position on it. The people who criticize it for winning an Oscar just due to people wanting to be diverse or woke or whatever, it's a somewhat fair criticism because although it was a very good movie, a very, very strong movie, would it have won an Oscar if it was the same exact storyline but just Americans made it, right? And it was mostly white people in the movie. Would it? I don't believe it would have. I really don't. It would have just been a very, very strong movie, maybe even nominated, right? But I do not think it would have won. I think it won because people just wanted to show how diverse the Oscars were. That's what the voters wanted to show, which is is their right. It's their academy, right? They can vote for whatever the hell they want to vote for.
Yeah,
I'm not begrudging
it's their
them
vote.
that. It's like if these are the values you want to express and it's your vote, I'm not telling you why you need to vote for a thing or like what rationale you need to use. It's your voting body. It's your vote. That is your right. You can vote for things because it has the color blue in it. Whatever. Okay, I don't care, right? But I do think that contributed to it. If it was just an American film with a bunch of white people, it would not have won. Again, that is not a criticism of the quality of the movie. It was a very high quality movie, right? But there have been in history many high quality foreign movies that didn't win because it just wasn't the time for that. And I'm specifically thinking of 2002 City of God. City of God was this like great Brazilian film. It didn't win because it wasn't the time where people were thinking, oh, foreign films got to win, right? But I think it was a better film than this. I think it was a lot better than the films that won that year, What won again? It was like Lord of the Rings, I think. And City of God, to me, was clearly the better film. So this is not a criticism of Parasite. It is a great film. But people who think, oh, it's just like a diversity pick or whatever, I think that's a fair criticism of it. But I wouldn't criticize it for that because I think it is the right of the Academy to vote for whatever reason they want to vote. Point number 2. I think that why was Trump talking about it? Clearly, it does play. It's an easy way to play into sort of like America first. Some would read as quote unquote xenophobic agenda. That's fine. If that's your opinion, that's fine. I don't think he has a strong. Let's put it this way. I don't think he has a strong opinion about the cinematic arguments. Right? I don't think he watched any of the films that were nominated. So he wasn't like, oh damn, I was really hoping 1917 would win. I don't think that was the case. Right, I just think it's just an easy way to sort of speak to his sort of America first things, which do I think is misguided? Yeah, because the Oscars are not about America. It's not. I don't think it ever purported to just be trying to promote America. I would assume that ideally the Oscars are there to promote and acknowledge excellence in cinema.
Yeah, there's no rule that says an American movie has to win Best Picture.
Excellence in cinema means cinema. It doesn't mean American cinema. That is, I don't think it was ever specified that it's like American cinema. But this is just a political speech. It's appeal to people on a very base level about their via America first. But it is not the right venue to talk about that because, like I said, the Oscars are about cinema. Not about American cinema.
Yeah.
And it was great cinema. Even though, do I think it was the best film? Probably not. But let's just put it this way. There have been a lot of films that have not been the best film of the year that have won. That have been real travesties. Parasite is not one of them. It is close enough for you to say, well, even if you don't think it was the best film of the year, it's close enough, it's good enough that it's deserving, right?
I do think some of the Oscar voters haven't seen all of the movies, so they're voting based on whatever their impression or whatever their strategy is. And I think a lot of them decided to vote for Parasite for diversity reasons.
Yes.
But the joke's on them because it was actually a really good movie. It was deserving.
Yeah.
Even though that's not why they voted for it.
Yeah.
They just said, "Oh,
I think,
let's
I
give a
think
foreign movie the win this time."
And even if something is not the best, it's like these are, it's subjective, right? So whether it really is the best, it's just these are subjective statements. But it was good, and it was close enough to the other films this year, which I think it was generally actually kind of a weak year. And I haven't paid that much attention. It's not like the years where I was a real film buff and reviewed films, so I haven't paid that much attention to it. But it's close enough that it's deserved. Just because you think that it's maybe not quite the best film of the year, as long as it's close, hey, that's fine. That's fine. As long as something is close enough to be deserving, you call that a good year. It's only when it's not even close and you're outraged that you think, what the hell happened? I can think of certain years like that. 1997, when Titanic beat LA Confidential. Do not get me started on it. I think I've already gone into a rant about that. But anyway, there's certain years where you're just really outraged.
Well, that year when Crash won, it was like, why did that win? Like,
Yeah.
that movie wasn't even good.
When Crash won, oh my God.
It was like, I don't know what happened
Over
that year.
Brokeback Mountain, oh my God.
That was crazy.
That was insane. That was like the worst example of like diversity, a diversity vote. And it was not even like, I mean, all the films there were some kind of diversity vote, right?
Yeah.
It's not like Brokeback Mountain was Gone with the Wind or something like that.
No.
Right? So I don't know. I don't know what the hell. But all the voters who voted that way probably pretty embarrassed. They look back right now. Nobody thinks very highly of Crash, just so you know.
Yeah, and it's like many years later, which one is more of an cultural impact? Way more people talk about Brokeback Mountain as being, a groundbreaking thing than Crash. So it's like time will tell what was the more important movie.
There's just some true outrages. Oliver winning over 2000. This is very old, but Oliver winning over 2001: A Space Odyssey. Nobody talks about Oliver.
No.
People still remember 2001. It will go down in history. It is Stanley Kubrick's magnum opus, and it's just it's a black mark on the Academy that happened. They're lucky that that's so long ago, because people don't even remember it. But it is a true embarrassment. All I'm saying is that Parasite winning over other films that potentially are maybe a little bit better, but not,
not overwhelmingly.
So. Yeah, it's not going to be one of those black marks. It is a deserving film. And so anyway, Trump talking about what's going on with this one.
I do think, just look at, he said it at a campaign rally, it's more about,
it's just
I'm pro-America.
Yeah, he's just trying to touch on pro-America. I think it is off base, because the Oscars are not about it's not about America. It's about film.
And I don't think he even saw Parasite, so it's
I don't think he saw any of the films.
It's just kind of a headline that he saw.
Yeah,
so
I don't think it's any of the...
If he had seen Parasite, like anyone who's seen Parasite, they always talk about really highly of it. So I think it's pretty clear he just didn't see it and just like made an offhand comment and turned it into a pro-America thing.
Yep.
So that's what happened with that situation. Thank you to our guest, Morgan. You can find BTS Happy Hour on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Play, Stitcher, Podbean, iHeartRadio, and YouTube. New episodes weekly. Please comment, review, or rate in the podcast platform you're using. Follow us on Twitter @OurBTS. Until next time, this has been the BTS Happy Hour. Thanks for listening, and remember, make every hour a happy one.